Now I'd like to welcome back Caroline Woods to discuss a fun conversation here. The NFL moving to YouTube TV after Alphabet reached a pretty sizable deal for the rights to that Sunday ticket. So this is interesting. This was, I think, seen as a positive for both the NFL as well as Alphabet, gaining more views on their YouTube platform. And hey, I have to say, for $65, I think it is a month, this is just becoming to me like a different version of cable, right?
I know, especially depending on how many logins you have, although this one could be good for me if I actually did enjoy watching football, because you can watch the games that aren't locally broadcast, you know, on Sundays, which for me as a Bills fan, I could do that. But instead, my mom tells me to watch and I just Google the scores and I'm like, all right, I got it. But yes, earlier this week, we learned that YouTube signed the deal with the NFL for that Sunday ticket. It's a roughly $2 billion deal for 7 years. And now, starting in 2023, Sunday ticket will be available only through Alphabet Google's YouTube. It'll be an add-on package for YouTube TV or a standalone option for YouTube primetime channels. And now we're seeing some analysts weigh in on the deal, and they're largely positive about it. Piper Sandler says it's positive news. It likely accelerates the push toward over-the-top time spent and ad dollars moving to streaming. The analyst there would expect a drag on margins, at least initially, given the upfront costs, but says with Alphabet's scale and infrastructure, he would imagine they are well positioned to drive profitable margins in time. So as such, this Piper Sandler analyst reiterated an overweight rating and $122 price target on Alphabet shares. Just to put that into perspective, Alphabet up 2% today, trading just below $90 a share. So what, $32 upside, according to Piper Sandler. Meanwhile, Citi has a little bit lower of a price target, $120, but reiterated its buy rating, said it believes Sunday ticket could accelerate the adoption of more subscription services, pointing to Amazon's success with Thursday night football. He believes it's converting Prime Video into both an acquisition and retention tool for Amazon, while he also acknowledges the partnership is likely to impact overall margins. That's kind of the theme, given the hefty price tag. He looks for improved top-line growth and greater subscription revenue over time. Google or Alphabet definitely getting a nice boost today, up about 2%, and it's down, we'll call it about 11% this month, and about almost 40% this year, another one that's been hit pretty hard.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the Amazon deal for the Thursday night NFL rights, because DirecTV, which was previously in contracts with the NFL for that Sunday ticket, has about 2 million Sunday subscribers, they think, on average. They've been losing money, actually, on this package for years due to its $1.5 billion annual rights fee. So DirecTV was, I think, not able to sort of handle the price tag. So now we move away from DirecTV into some of these deep-pocketed tech companies, and it seems like this is becoming a broader shift. We have Amazon, obviously, with Thursday night football. Now we have Alphabet moving into Sunday football, and then we have Apple actually having the rights to the Super Bowl halftime show this year. So, I mean, at this point, are these companies just going to control everything? I just feel like at this point, between Alphabet, Amazon, and Apple, they just do everything.
Well, big tech has the money to do so. And you mentioned DirecTV. I believe they were paying, what, $1.5 billion through 2023 for this deal. I should note, though, that when we were first hearing about, there was obviously a lot of questions about who was going to get the rights to Sunday ticket. It seems like as soon as Apple dropped off, not for monetary reasons, but more logistical reasons, it seems like we saw a YouTube or Alphabet benefit when it went real fast. But the roughly $2 billion price tag is actually a little bit lower than we initially were thinking. There were reports that it could be as high as $3 billion a year. So now it's roughly $14 billion deal over the course of 7 years versus, call it, $21 billion. So a little bit cheaper than maybe we once thought. But yeah, I think that this is just a testament to big tech really having the power and really wanting, obviously sports, especially with gambling now so prominent here in the U.S. I think that it's definitely a key market for so many of these companies, which is why we're seeing, so much participation now. Obviously, I'm a big Bills fan, but not the biggest sports fan. So I have never watched a Thursday night game on Amazon, and I haven't watched a Sunday ticket game that I know of, but alas, here I am.
You know, Caroline, it's not much better. I root for the Bears, I guess, living in Chicago, and it's brutal. So I'm glad for the opportunity to watch other games. And I am too passionate about fantasy football. It like stresses me out. Last night, my team, a few players did horrible. So I think it's better to not know. It's like ignorance is bliss. I hate how worked up I get over it. But an interesting move.
Jenny, you think that, but I have to tell you, I was home last weekend in Buffalo for a Christmas party. I couldn't believe as soon as the Bills game came on, it was like, don't talk. You can go in this living room or this family room, but no one talks to each other. You can only cheer. I really was like, since when did everyone become so diehard? Well, I've been living away for a while, and you know, obviously I'm not abiding by the rules. I'm there for the snacks, but it's always fun when they win.
Don't worry, I'm so much more in your camp, and I'm like, it's funny that I root for these people that I have zero control over, which always is a funny concept, but a good conversation with all things Alphabet, obviously moving into the sports world.